and welcome to Add More Zest. My name's Rebecca, also known as 4Kids at 147, and here is the final part of my Heaven and Earth design in August. We are on the 31st of August. I have completed a lot in the month of August. I think I was up here somewhere. I hadn't done much of this blue, if I'd done any, so doing it per month has been a nice big chunk. I am still missing 3712 in places, but I do have some on the way. However, Royal Mail strikes are testing and it has not arrived yet. So the question is, technically, I should potentially get to 50%, but there is some 3712 in here already that I can see. I am currently on 49.62%. Now, the middle is actually halfway across this bottom diamond. So if I only did this 9 section up here, and I'd only done that all the way across, then I would have hit 50%. So by doing this extra row across the bottom, hopefully that accommodates for the missing 3712. But time will tell. We shall find out. Yeah, so let's see how we go. Let's see if we do reach 50%. Let's zoom you guys in so you can pretty much see both. I am on a Get It Done day today. And I am filming this the day of, so I am filming this on the 31st of August. I did manage to get a couple of these extra ones that I sort of needed to do to potentially hit 50%. I did them last night. It was actually getting quite dark, so it was not the best lighting, but when you get so close to 50% and you set yourself a deadline of the 31st, I was kind of determined to get there. So I'm not going to continue doing a section per day on this one in September, partly because this one, well, as you'll know by the length of the WIP Chats, this one does take quite a while to do with it being so many colours. It takes more than my other Heaven and Earth design takes to do. It takes a lot longer. Plus, I feel like I'm very behind with everything at the moment. I can't remember the last time I did my nails. My nails are in desperate need of some attention. Sorry, hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's one of those awkward ones that is like very close to slap bang in the middle. Yeah, I feel at the moment like I'm very behind on pretty much everything. I'm not behind. Things are getting done by the time they need to get done. But yeah, I don't feel like I have the time in September, with us going away as well, to commit to doing a section of this per day. I think I'm going to take September to catch up. If I find that I'm caught up and I'm like, get the little itch, then I might pull out my other Heaven and Earth design. Or if by some weird twist of fate I get everything done that I need to get done and find that I have time, then I might get this back out. But I do need to do a stock check on the diamonds. There are quite a few diamonds that I am finding I am low on. And numbers, I've been paying a little bit, wrong ones. I've been paying a little bit more attention to the numbers recently. And there are a few that I definitely am not going to have enough of. So at some point in September, I think I'm going to do a little stock check on the numbers that I need so that I know exactly where I'm up to, so that if and when, I say when, I decide to do another Heaven and Earth Design month where I do a section a day when things have quietened down a little bit, I can potentially have the diamonds to be able to do that. So yeah, I may pick up my other Heaven and Earth Design, but I think September, with us going away, with me needing to get all the items ready for our big October launch, I think I just need to be practical and say, nah, not happening with Heaven and Earth Design. I'll still do other diamond paintings, of course, but Heaven and Earth Design will just get paused for a little bit. But I do want to pick it back up because I have a new spurred energy and desire to get more of the Heaven and Earth Design done, because I see how much doing a section a day can really spur it on. And when I'm not so busy, a section a day is quite nice to do first thing in the morning. Do a section first thing in the morning and then get on with the day. You know, while the day's mulling round in my head and I'm sort of, you know, formulating a plan of action, I can do my Heaven and Earth Design at the same time. And yeah, it worked really well. I've struggled since I've not been able to do that first thing in the morning. So 300 is one of them. 300 did run out in my pot, and I pulled all the ones I had in my extra spares, and I don't have a lot. Considering a lot of the tree trunk is this colour, is 300. I know that if I continue doing this, especially at the pace I've been doing it, I'm going to run out of 300. So that's sort of another one of the reasons that I think this one helps if I mark them off. I think that's another reason that a pause is good on this. Reevaluate what I need and where, and then plough on. I told you things can change all the time. I was planning on doing my other Heaven and Earth Design in September, when everything was still chaotic but not quite. My to-do list wasn't quite as long, but things just seem to keep getting added to it. One of my daughters moves to uni this month, so that will take some time. We have a holiday. We're going away for a week. We actually have a caravan for 2 weeks, but me and hubby are going away for a week of it, because we do want to feel as though we've got some things done around the house and not just left the house as soon as we finish work on a Friday and don't come back until we're due back in work type thing. So yeah, I think practical wise, September, leave September as is. Normal, as much, you know, normal life as can be, and catch up, and then maybe I'll do something in November. Okay, I have all these diamonds now that are stuck together. I haven't got my little makeshift macaroon in here. It's in my cart in the conservatory. So I've tipped all the diamonds out while I just use what is already loose, and I'll deal with that another day, because if I go out now, I'm going to have to say hello to Luna for about 10 minutes because I dared to go in a room that she's not in. And then I might be able to get back in here. And as I say, I am on a get it done day today. Partly hence the reason I am, you know, filming without thinking about getting my nails done. I have the same tray and pen that I have used on the past couple of WIP and Waffles. I normally like to change it up, but these were handy. They were handy, they were there, they were grabbed. We were off. Okay, did I get them all? No, yes, I did. I just didn't mark it off. So I think I might have enough of those. 223 I need. I might have enough. That'll be one that I'll check my spares. I will do a list at some point where I'll go through, on video probably, go through all of these numbers, basically just check what it is that I need and if I know roughly how many. My mum's already done that. She sent me a list. I'm sure she needs less than I do. But she's having a whale of a time getting hers done. The organisation as much as anything. Okay, comments and questions, because that is another thing I need to go through at some point, because there is a nice big backlog of WIP and Chat comments and questions. So I do need to go through and whittle those down by replying to some people directly. But Debbie, she says, hi Rebecca and Megan. She says she loves the little bitty tray. She says, glad you are both doing this WIP and Chat. Please enjoy working together. She said, making memories. She says, Megan, do you enjoy working with your mum? Megan's not here. I think that would depend. That would partly depend on her mood and potentially on how much stuff. She does enjoy, you know, quite a few elements of it. Otherwise, you know, she'd never have got interested in the first place. But I think sometimes when I turn around and go, oh, by the way, she regrets that. She doesn't like that so much. I know when I was discussing the craft room or the latest little change, and I said, right, I want to talk to you about like the A5 inserts and stuff, and she just went, what? And I went, no, I'm on about the organisation. She's like, oh, okay. She thought I was putting another to-do on her list rather than being floating around in my brain. So yeah, I think it really depends. She has done quite a lot this summer, but hopefully once she's back at work, she won't have anywhere near as much stuff to do. I tend to give her a list for the holidays, and summer holidays was quite a long list. Okay. Ninia says, I've done the reading all night thing. She said so many times. She said the worst thing that she's done is being given a series that was 56 books long and not yet finished. She said, and not one book was less than 400 pages. She said, sleep was not my friend for a long time. I can imagine. She says, when it comes to her hobbies, she says, my ADHD comes out in force. She's got diamond painting, watercolours, dry pastels, because she hates oil pastels, coloured pencils, mainly for adult colouring books, dip pens and some awesome inks. She thinks that's everything. Variety is the spice of life, they say. And that's probably a nice, good range. Okay, so Diamond Sparkle Chase She said it was very pleasant seeing Megan. She says, nice small white tray. Good job. She said, have a great day. And she loves Megan's nails. Which, yes, she does go and get done. So they're definitely a little bit more fancy than mine. Colouring with Lou, she says she's UK based and she has a few 3712 she says that she can send to keep you going. She said it is nowhere near the 600 mark that you need in total, sadly. She says if you would like them, please let me know. Oh, thank you very much. I do have some 3712 on the way from a couple of people, which hopefully will be enough for me to fill the gaps, and potentially enough that I will need for the rest of the painting. But I will do a revamp or a recheck of all the numbers that I do need, and I'll be sure to let you guys know just in case you do have any that you can spare, and try and get to the point where I have all the diamonds that I need, so that I can keep doing the odd month where I try and do a section a day, and therefore get this painting done and completed in 2023 would be ideal. Right, sorry, had a couple of phone calls. Right, where are we up to? 435. This is where the tablet also helps, and I didn't need that many, I needed 2. The tablet really helps, especially if you do something in between. It will pretty much tell you where you're up to, rather than trying to figure it out, which is not always the easiest thing. Okay, we do have a very confetti section this time. I'm wondering if we're going to get any that we actually get quite a few of. But it seems like we're just going for confetti. Aliyah, trying to pronounce the name right, probably hashing it. But Aliyah, she says she does the same as Catherine with books. Okay, why is that wrong? I've just noticed that this whole section here should be further over, and I've seen what I've done. So this is where sometimes if you get one wrong, you can end up getting them all wrong. So this whole row, should be further over. And it's actually this that should also be further over. There we go. Okay, let's try again. Now I've scooted them all to match the pattern. Those two now actually link up to that one like they're supposed to. Okay, sorry. Aliyah says she does the same as Catherine, she says, but she reads up to 8 books at a time. She says it is because she is a mood reader. So I'm guessing that means that it depends on what mood you're in as to what book you want to listen to or read, depending on how you read, because there's now multiple different ways to read. Yeah. I don't think I could possibly have a couple of books on the go, but that would be, so I recently listened to, or partly listened to, it actually was one that sent me to sleep very often, even though it was very interesting, was Bill Bryson's History of Everything, basically talking about how, you know, the world started and the theories of the scientists, and, you know, talking about things like water and atoms and the human body, and oh, absolutely all sorts. Really, really fascinating. But it was very good at sending me to sleep. And I could listen to that alongside one of my fiction books, because to me they were completely different things. But I don't know if I could read two different fiction books. I don't know that I've ever tried it, but it just doesn't interest me to think about potentially listening to two different things. But hey, I like the fact that some people can. To me, that is a quirk that my daughter has. Each to their own. Tasha, she says, irony is, she says she recently purchased 3 Dreamer Design diamond paintings. She's almost finished with the first one. She said, amongst other issues, the symbols, she says, are in some places illegible. She says, and when she contacted them, she said they sent me an email with the symbols on a PDF version. She said, so it doesn't seem like they've changed. No, that's what they did for me. The thing is, the symbols that they sent me on the PDF were completely different to the ones on the chart. So I don't know whether they'd recharted it or whether it was just the wrong draft version or what. I really don't know. Oh, I actually had some of those. I'm not used to having that number. As you can tell, I've just whizzed straight past it. There are some symbols in here that, unless I know I'm coming to, you know, a fairy or something completely different, that I just really do not expect to be on the painting. So it's a good job that they light up. Otherwise, I probably still will miss some, because I'm not paying attention to some of the symbols as closely as potentially I should be. We've got one here. We just stick a sneaky one in. Okay, they're zeros, so I don't need those. Oh, we've got quite a bit of 6, 4, 5, so that's not too bad. Let's pop the first case away. First goal achieved. She's getting through a case. Lady Dax, she says, well done, ladies. She says that was a lovely WIP chat. She says, PJ is the same with little kids, she said, as Megan. And she also calls them her little munchkins. She says she's a huge Harry Potter fan, but she is a Gryffindor. She said she thinks it may be a mother and daughter thing. She says, as we usually watch an old series on Netflix, she says, if we are crafting in the same room. She says, P.S. I love Megan's nails. And PJ says, can she have the mini mind tray in orange, please? I am sure there will be many requests for the mini cove minder tray in multiple colours when we have got the design finalised and underway. It's been worked on. I have been, well, only recently, so this month's colours, I think, I have been putting aside all the odd bits of filament so that I can try and, you know, get colours together. But to start off with, I think it will be the standard colours. Will be potentially what we do them in. We'll have to see. We'll have to see how well they go, how busy the printers are, as to how many we can possibly get done. But we're just waiting on a part for one of the printers to be able to hopefully get the design finalised. we'll keep you guys updated, of course, as soon as we have anything straight. Only Merlin, she says, thank you, Megan, for joining the WIP Chat today. She says that she enjoys watching us both and how you both have different styles of diamond painting, which we do. We both do it very differently. Megan has currently, well, she's currently at the moment, she's watching The Dog, and she is working on The King's Path by Diamond Art Club while I'm doing this. And she even does her cover sheets on a large painting different. She only likes, I think, to have one row of cover sheets, but then she does use some cover sheets to sort of block off a section, but she often does a section that's a little bit taller but not as wide as the cover sheets. She lines them up to make a section size that works for her. So we both do that differently as well. She says, are you going to limit the amount of coverminder / trash drill trays that can be bought at one time, so there's a better chance of more people getting some when they become available? Probably not in relation to the standard stock colours. The standard stock colours, we're likely to not release them until we have a very good amount available. It's very hard to restrict the amount that people buy, i.e., you know, you can restrict how much stock is on the website, but to restrict how much people actually put into their cart is very hard to do. And also that there are, you know, we do have to take into account the fact that people do purchase from abroad, so they want to make the postage worth their while, and therefore some people do combine. So if they live close to somebody, or if they've got family members that diamond paint, they will in effect do their orders together, and it's not fair for them to pay more postage, because if we could, we had restricted how many can be bought. So we tend to, it will be a matter of when they are available, we will make sure that we have a very good stock available, and it will be on a limited colour, probably just to the basic colours to start with. And then we may do mini releases of other colours. We may just make it a random. We don't know yet. It really does depend on how it goes, and also how many we can get actually printed in with, of course, the trays that we are constantly printing. So yeah, there's no final things yet. We need to get the design down pat. We need to determine how long they take to print, whether it is worth printing multiples, which printing multiples of them can happen with the basic colours, because we pretty much always have those colours on the printers. It's very rarely they will come off, you know, to advance print for a limited edition, but more often than not, the 3 basic colours are constantly on the printer. Yeah, so the limited colours will have to have a think and a work round as to how we're going to do them, because we definitely don't have enough printer time to be able to print, you know, a full roll of them every single month in every colour. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see. Irene, she says, thank you for sharing. She said it was fun having Megan on today with you. She says best wishes with the shop, and I hope everything goes more smoothly. Yes, me too. I feel like I'm getting somewhere this week. I still have quite a lot of what I feel is catching up to do, even though I still have plenty of time. I would like to be a little bit more organised than I currently am, but it's definitely getting there. I have my to-do list. I am working my way through it, also dealing with stock as it comes in. So the cover paper holders was my task for yesterday, was to get all those prepared. I just need to get them packaged now, but we have put the pink back on the website, back in stock, because that one did run out. Oh, I have done that one, I just didn't mark it off. And we do have baby blue back as well. So they are up on the website, and the rest will be restocked or just numbers increased as soon as I've finished packing them. Yeah, also worked on a couple of other things yesterday, but they are Advent things, so I'm trying to mix up. I do want to be able to give you guys images, pricing and stuff on the Advent as soon as possible. It has been asked for. People want a budget. They want to know if it's even within their budget. You know, they want to know more about it. And that is one of my main goals, is to get that pretty much together as much as possible to be able to give you guys those answers to those questions that have been asked. There's a few more things I need to do, and the days keep running away from me. Yesterday I was like, oh, I just want to finish this task when hubby came in at 4:30. It's like, I just want to finish this bit, and then, you know, I'll be done for the day. 6 o'clock, an hour and a half later it took me. Sometimes I forget how long some things take compared to how long I think they should take. But hey, it crossed another thing off my to-do list, so I'm all for that. Kim, she says, love today's WIP and Chat. She says, and the memory, she said, of Megan mixing the two colours together. She says, and you both picking a different colour to collect in the tray when you should have picked the same one. Yes, when we kitted up Megan's Tinkerbell painting, there was an accident with the colours being mixed. We both chose a different colour instead of choosing the same colour and then tipping it out afterwards. You know, tipping out the remaining colour left in there. We both just picked different colours. But hey, we got there. We got there in the end. That was a distant memory. That was a couple of years ago, I think. It was good a while. It was a good while ago. Tracy says, oh, it was great to hear/see Megan. She said she multi-places. Yes, she does enjoy multi-placing. I have done it on one painting, which was quite nice. I quite enjoyed the jigsaw effect on the flamingo. I actually didn't do it on Picasso at all. So maybe I will do it on whatever the next large painting is that I do. I think it sort of depends on my mood as whether I'm ready to think about multi-placing. But case number 2 is done. Let's move on to case number 3. Oh, we've got 3 diamonds stuck together here. At least they came apart quite quickly. Very, very much confetti, this painting. It doesn't want to come out of my tray. Tracy says she introduced her mum to diamond painting She says, we also don't share stashes. And she said, can you please have more, please? Well, Megan is aware that people do want more WIP and chats with her. She does go back to school this week, or at least the teachers etc. go back to school this week to start prepping for the new term and the new school year. So how soon that will be, I don't know. I don't expect anything out of Megan for the first few weeks of her being back in school. It is, yeah, it's exhausting for her. You know, the whole back to a schedule. As anybody with children know, they are full of beans, full of questions, and yeah, they can be exhausting. Well, in fact, they definitely are exhausting, but sometimes even just watching them is exhausting. So I know full well, with all, you know, the new stuff, the new year, a new role within the same school, yeah, not to expect much out of Megan, especially through the week while she's working. So we will see how soon we can squeeze another WIP and chat in. Yeah, we'll just have to see when that can be. Polly says she enjoyed the mother-daughter banter. Awesome. And Anna says it was great to see Megan. Jackie, she said, oh, sorry, I'm fishing out a diamond at the same time. Jackie says, she says, wow, a nice WIP and chat with both of you. She said it would be nice, she said, to have a catch up with Megan on a regular basis. She says maybe Christmas and Easter as well as the summer holidays. She says love and hugs. And thank you both for all the lovely goodies, she says, that you organise for us. And Megan has actually replied. She says, I will try my best. She says it has taken 5 weeks, she says, to get this much from me. Yeah, she can be very, very busy. So maybe we'll be able to get her to join in a December Advent at some point, maybe. Though we will have to see, because of course Christmas times in schools can be as crazy as Christmas times for the rest of us. It can be the mad times. And Rose, she says, thank you so much to Megan for joining us. She says it was great to see you again, and she says another great WIP and Waffle. She says she sees a sneak peek of the trash tray. She says can't wait for the tray to be available. Yeah, I can't wait either. It's not the quickest process getting something ready to be able to be sold, especially, you know, with the printing of stock and stuff. So maybe that was a little bit too of an early announcement, but sometimes we just can't help ourselves. We get rather excited over some products often. Okay, we've got 1939, which I did spot while I was doing it, because sometimes if there's only a couple of 939, if there's only a little bit, it can be very hard to see, because because the symbol is so big, it doesn't light up round it in green a lot. Sue, she says it was great to see another pair of hands. She says she thinks of our family as just hands. She says no head or body. She says, joking apart, she says it was good to hear from Megan and watch her diamond paint. She says, yes, the tiny tray, she says, is so sweet. It is. I need to find, oh, I've ended up losing a diamond in there. Oh, well, who knows which that one was. I could look back on this video, but I don't think I am that short of single diamonds. I hope not anyway. Let's hope it's not one I needed. I don't think it's been there since the 300s, so we should be good. Okay, let's find my next colour. Where are we? That one's not in my section. We've got one of these. Mary Jo, she says, hi Rebecca. She says she has a Heaven and Earth design question. She said she's downloaded the Pattern Keeper app. She says she also has a hard copy of the chart. She says her question is, do you section off your Heaven and Earth design? She says by chart page. Do you have a video that can help me with this? She said, thank you, love your channel. I do have a very brief video on how I use Pattern Keeper. I am not in any way an expert of Pattern Keeper because it is used for cross stitch as well as diamond painting. There are some amazing features for people that cross stitch diagonally and all sorts of stuff in there, and I don't touch that. But I do have one to show how I use it for my Heaven and Earth design. Easiest way to find it is to go to my website. Under videos, I have a section called applications, and I have the video in there. In relation to separating it by pages, no, I turn that off. So you can have a feature if you do want it, so this is an option if you prefer it, to have your page break shown, and it will show on here as a thicker line to the like 10 grid lines, and that will tell you where your page break is. That would just confuse me with this too much because I grid up into 6 lots of, 600 diamonds. Because I grid into that, actually having the page breaks can confuse me as to where my lines are supposed to be. So I personally have them turned off. But there is an option if you prefer to work by page, then by all means you can do. I'm not sure if I go through that on the video, but I do know that that option is there. The video I did quite a while ago. So it's definitely my beginning use of using the Pattern Keeper app, and how I like to do my diamond painting with it. Pauline says, where are you from? It's one of those. It's a very weird where are you from, in the fact of, yes, I was born down south. So I was born in Aylesbury Hospital. Was it Aylesbury Hospital? Yeah, born in Aylesbury, down south. But then I was only there until I was about 3. And then we moved. Did I live in Milton Keynes and was born in Aylesbury, I think? Just due to where the local hospital was. They're very close to each other anyway. Then I moved to Luton, and then we moved up north when I was about 7. And then to Warrington when I was about 13. So I have actually lived most of my life in Warrington. But if we go by where I was born, then I was born down south. So it's one of those weird questions. It's like when you say where you're from, what do you class as where you're from? Especially when you can't, I can't remember our time in Milton Keynes. I can remember elements. Sorry, time for the battery to go. Yeah, I can remember elements of Luton. And of course I can remember more of Stockton. I thought something lit up then. That did down there, but I thought something did over here. No, maybe it was me. So yeah. I'm just a mix. I'm just a mix of it all, really. A little bit of here, a little bit of there, a little bit of everywhere. Jen says there are food bowls that you can get that will slow down Luna's eating. Yes, I know they do slow feed bowls. Because she's still a puppy, we do sort of want to see if, that's going to be her for life type thing. It may be that it's still instilled in her from being a pup. Maybe she had to fight her brothers and sisters for food. Who knows? Maybe it was a matter of who got to it first. Though she was the largest of the litter, so maybe she succeeded and that's why she keeps doing it. For the minute, we do have a couple of different ways we slow her down anyway, especially on her lunchtime meal. We have a few puzzles for her, which she likes to do. We also hand feed a bit depending on training and when we're doing training with her. And then we do like just the simple method of we have a towel that's just for Luna. When we have rainy season here, which is quite often to be fair, we often there is quite a bit of 3712. Let's see how many of the others we can get to fill in those gaps. Yeah, we have a towel for her that we often just lay down and scatter her food over it and then just roll it up. She loves it. She loves having it that way. The other day she got fed in the park, just thrown on the grass. She had a good rummage for it. Nellie, she says, hi Rebecca. She says, it's nice to see your daughter. She said, how does Megan like her paintings kitted up? So Megan prefers to use the bottle storage only. She'll always ask if I am kitting something up for her to make sure that it's in the bottle storage. If I, do it on a video. She very much likes the symbol to be bigger and then the DMC number underneath, because the DMC number is only really needed for me. So the bottle storage also allows her to put them in the order she likes. I often, well, apart from this Heaven and Earth design, but when I'm often working on something else, I tend to kit from the case bottom up quite often. Megan definitely likes hers from the top down. She's actually said to me today, because she is working on her Diamond Art Club, she's actually not sure if she even likes the Diamond Art Club stickers. I think she's feeling like they're a bit too small for the symbols. She's already had a rearrange, and she's already put them going from the top down instead of the bottom up that I'd done them as, because I completely forgot that aspect when I was kitting it up. So yeah, I think they're her main things. Is she does like the symbols to be clear. Quite often she actually prefers to do her own stickers and use her own with, a nice big, normally purple Sharpie marker as how she does her symbols, so they're clear for her. But yeah, it's a matter of each to your own, I suppose. When a kit comes with stickers or comes with an inventory sheet that I can use, I like to use the inventory sheet, but that's, for me, I think the colours on the symbols help me to find them, which you don't get when you write out your own stickers. However, I think Megan's brain is not necessarily telling her the colour of the symbol. She's just got the symbol in her head. So having a look at that in clear writing, whether it be mine or hers, and nice and big, is easier for her. Because by the time you've stuck the Diamond Art Club on the bottles, they are smaller symbols. Maybe that's why, I don't know, maybe that's why I did it with the colours when I first did these, so that I'd have the colour recognition as well as the symbol recognition. Who knows? I use this now more than anything. And then quite often I'm actually looking at the DMC number rather than the symbol when I get the bottle. Cassie says, hey, if it's okay to ask, she says she's just wondering how much Diamond Art Club delivery costs to the UK and how much is the import/task. She said, sorry if it seems rude, she says, but she would love to do one of them. Delivery does depend on how much you order. They do have an amount that if you spend you can get deliveries included or deliveries free. It normally equals a couple of paintings, I think. I think the price for me to get delivered when I was getting just the one painting, I think it was about £14 it worked out as. It does depend on conversion, but the website can show it you in British pounds. They're a bigger company, so they've got all that fancy gizmo stuff that tells you the price in your currency. So, yeah, it gives you the price in pounds if you choose that option. And they do also incorporate the VAT into that price. So you won't have Diamond Art Club, because they send a lot to the UK. They have worked out some sort of package with the courier that you will pay. We pay VAT, or us Brits pay VAT to them at the point of sale. And then it is all covered, and they will then pass it on to the British government. So you don't have to worry about getting a customs charge when it comes into the UK, which in some ways is better and in some ways is worse. So since we left the EU, we now tend to, as Brits, have to pay VAT on goods that are sold out the country as we buy them. So we pay it at the point of sale. So in one sense, it is good, because then we are not getting hit with a customs charge plus a charge for the company to deal with that. So for example, you could end up paying £2 in VAT, but then paying £8 to Royal Mail for asking you for the VAT. So, you know, it gets rid of that charge, which is great. However, there was sometimes that you would order something from outside the UK and they wouldn't charge you VAT because it didn't get picked up by customs. So in effect, it managed to slip through the net, whereas now you pay it when you purchase it. There's no more slipping through the net. So it's one of them. You win some, you lose some, is the way it tends to go. But yeah, Diamond Art Club, it is included in their prices, and it will say so on the website, so you can get confirmation as you're placing your order. If that may change, I don't think it will, but it may change. So you can't take the guarantee from my word of mouth, but all my recent orders have had VAT included. And that's me just covering my back in case you come back to me and say I got charged it and Diamond Art Club had changed their rules since I last answered this question. But yeah, it does say it on the checkout page whether you are likely to get charges or not. Gigi's, she says, oh my goodness, do you see that tiny tray? She said, it's so beautiful, I want. There are a lot of I wants. We do need to get the design finalised because those printers need to work their little hearts out to make sure that we can get the stock built up for those, because yeah, they are so cute. Thinking of potentially doing them in a couple of different ways. We think, this is not guaranteed yet because it may end up being that we have to release them in stages due to printers stock not knowing what demand is. That's the biggest problem with a new product, is you never know how big demand is going to be. So you are completely playing a guessing game when preparing for a launch. You just, yeah, you never know how crazy it's going to be. And there are some things that we have launched that we have run out of super quick. And there's some things that have been closer to what we predicted. But we are, yeah, I'm thinking at the moment personally, and this is because I would personally use the second option more than the first option. So the first option and the original plan when we designed the mini trays, or the tiny trays should I say, they're not even mini, they're minute, was for it to be a cover minder. So it would have the magnets so that you could use it to hold back your plastic cover, etc, etc. That was the initial plan. But I am also thinking of potentially having a second version that doesn't come with a magnet for those like myself who I tend to use cover paper. So I don't need it to pin back any cover paper. And I would actually prefer to use a sticky mat and have the little trash tray sit on it flat than try and get the magnet in the right place underneath. When it's not holding back anything else, it's just holding itself up. So let us know your thoughts. I'm thinking that we might do the two. So one without a back, just a flat, just a flat backed tray so that it can be stuck on the sticky grip mats, which will allow you potentially to move it around quite a bit easier. You could even possibly cut down one of the sticky mats so that it was more in keeping with the size of the tray. And then it would be really easy to move about your diamond painting wherever you want it to be. Or whether you just prefer the cover minder with magnets on the back. So let me know. I think Luna has decided that somebody needs to be barked at. I can just hear barking in the background. Could just be that the neighbours dared to go in their own garden. Who knows? That is our next stage of training, I think, is how to stop Luna going ballistic at every family that decides to go into their own garden. Ina says she loves this WIP and Waffle. She says, very nice to hear things about your normal day, Megan. Yeah, it's always hard to know what people are interested in, whether people are interested in, the fact that you went for the shops this morning, or how many brews you've drank yet today, or, sort of what your normal routine consists of. I am hoping soon to be able to start putting more things on Instagram stories, you know, of the behind the scenes at Add More Zest, and things that I get up to throughout the day. Once I'm caught up, hopefully that will be a bit easier to do. Joelle says, thank you for this WIP and Waffle. She said it kept her company while she was kitting up a Diamond Art Club mystery painting, which is 105 by 70 centimetres. Wow, that is a big one. She says she's been watching your videos for a while now, she says, and she's been wanting to do a heaven and earth design so badly. She thinks this is the closest that she will get to doing one, as it removes the extra stress, she said, of buying drills separately. She said she can't wait to start it. So this is a mystery painting. She can't wait to start it, and she's going to do a little bit every day. She says she's going to do random sections as if it were an advent calendar. I love doing random sections on some paintings. I think it can be a nice way to keep things a little bit different, especially if you have one that's either really heavy confetti. Sometimes it is nice to just change up what section you're doing, because in turn that can change up the prominent colours that you're using. I know when I go across with this heaven and earth design, at the moment, not always the same, it does depend what section I'm on, but it tends to be more confetti at either end, especially where this blossom tree comes into play. So it's more blossom either end, more confetti, but then there's chunks in the middle. And depending on the painting, you can often find that by doing random sections, you can help with that and vary it all up. But I do like doing a canvas that has black and white symbols as well. I just find that the picture comes to life more as you're going along, if it's black and white and then you're putting colour diamonds on the top of it. There's something to be said for that. Okay, have we got any yellowish colours in? No, we have got my divide symbol. Cher loves orange. She said that was so fun. She says thank you both of you, she says, for taking time out of your busy day. Yeah, we really enjoyed it, actually, doing a little mum and daughter WIP and chat. It always feels weird, or at least it does to me, because I'm normally in here just chatting to you guys or chatting to myself. Sometimes it feels like I'm not usually doing it with somebody else in the room. In fact, it's the one time I trap everybody out of the room. So it did feel a little bit different for me, but still it was fun to do. Okay, we're getting into this last little batch of colours now, which hopefully should be all the symbols that I've got left, unless I have managed to make a boo-boo. I guess time will tell. We're on 49.97%, people, is what we are on at the moment. Let's see if some of these numbers, I feel like I should keep a very close eye on my percentage when I hit the tick done of each colour, and see exactly when I hit 50%, because it's not until I hit the tick that it updates, which means I can concentrate on placing the diamonds, and then when I hit tick done, we can have a look at what percentage we're on, and I will read it out because it's not easy to see. Okay, so that's my letter E done. That takes me to 49.98%. Question is each of these going to give me enough diamonds to actually go up by a percentage each time? Is it going to do it? I'm also trying to make sure that I don't get lost. I think I'm going to hit the 50% at least. I think my missing diamonds aren't going to affect it that much because of that extra row or half row across the bottom. The middle point, if you can see it here, is actually halfway through this bottom diamond, is classed as the middle. Okay, I had placed that diamond. This is where, if I don't keep track as well, you'll often find that I am pressing every single one on here, and that's because it is very hard to figure out if I have or haven't done it once it's filled up. We're still on 49.98, so that wasn't enough diamonds to tip it over. Stephanie said she did have the same problem with Dreamer Designs, and she says, but unfortunately she did not get a replacement. She said she wasn't happy. I don't blame you for not being happy. I found it is only one that you can do in the day, if you get the one with the really bad symbols. Like, you could possibly muddle through it if you had really good light. But anybody in the UK who knows, I mean, even now it's started getting, sunset is about 8:30. So it starts getting dark, or darker, at least for diamond painting. I've gone back to using my light pad. It's the only way I can get, you know, to see the symbols after probably about 8 o'clock. It starts getting a bit tricky before then. I put the big light on, you know, the big light. I pop that on a bit earlier. Sometimes it's around 7, depends on how cloudy it is. So yeah, it's not a pretty painting to do if you're struggling. It'd have to be a summer painting. Okay, we moved. 49.99. Okay, letter S. Jo says she loved the waffle. She said, and it was great to see us both. Nancy also says, she says it was a fun whip and waffle. She says her daughter is also a teacher in England. She said she knew that she wanted to be a teacher at about grade 10. So when she was 15 or 16, she said, and she never changed her mind. Yeah, that's our Megan. She said she'll be teaching year 5 when she starts back in a couple of weeks. She said her son-in-law is also a teacher. She says, love all the stories. She says that they share about teaching the little ones. She says, back to diamond paintings. She said both images, she said, were fun to watch you work on together. She says she may have just added some new mini paintings to her cart. There are so many mini paintings. Mine are coming soon. They're currently in London Heathrow, last time I checked, which I think was yesterday. They're currently stuck in London Heathrow. Okay, is S going to do it for us? Yes, bob on 50%. Woohoo! I made it. I've got 3 more colours, I think, maybe, to go. And then I will fill in the remaining 3712 as soon as they arrive, which possibly will be tomorrow. I didn't realise it was another strike day today, which means they're still taking posts, so we're still posting orders, but they're not delivering today. it's like there's different sections that they're having strikes on. So there was a day last week where, I think it was last Friday. Last Friday, some post offices were shut, but like they weren't doing, I don't think they were doing anything with the mail at all across all sorts of different departments, unless it was special delivery, paid for, timed deliveries. But then today, I think it's just the people that deliver the post. Oh, have I got one miss there? Oh, I have. Yeah, it's just the paid for deliveries that are getting done, but nothing else. So the post office is still open. Last Friday, we actually went to the post office on a Saturday, which we don't normally do. Just to make sure that they got out because they were shut on Friday. So we just moved our day. It just means that I've not got my diamonds yet, but they've been sent. So, oh, at least it's in this box. Is it? 377. It is. I thought I was going to have to hunt down another box then. Oh, I've got a few that are stuck together and I'm just trying to get one. Oh, and this is where I have to remember to change from searching for a symbol to highlighting a symbol. So the only symbols that I have left now is 3712, which will be filled very, very soon. But I am now on 50.01%. I might get to 50.02 when 3712 is done. But there is, we zoom out a little bit, not that it will make a huge difference. There is my little dreamer's tree. I actually can't remember where it was I started. I'm pretty sure it was up here when I started it in August. At least I'll remember this next time because it's the 500 line. Or maybe I had done the top part of this. But anyway, I feel like I have done a really nice big chunk of this for August, which is amazing. And yeah, I will be doing it again. To what intensity I will add in the WIP Chats will depend on how long it is until I do it again. So if I do it again in November, I might just still do a normal WIP Chat and throw in an extra heaven and earth design. I'm not sure. But it's looking so good. We've got little fairies dotted about in a couple of places that it's really weird. When I look at them, they just look like they could be a different shade of leaf. But as soon as I look through them through the camera, I can tell they're little fairies. It's like this hammock doesn't look like anything until I look through the viewfinder. But yeah, thank you all so much for joining me for Heaven and Earth Design in August. It's been great fun. I feel like I can see a light at the end of the tunnel. Where the end of the tunnel is, I'm not yet sure, but I will be working towards it as much as I can, but also being reasonable and kind to myself in the fact of, you know, it is just too busy in September for me to do it. So maybe it'll be back in November and I'll try and see how much further I can get down, how much of a chunk I can get done in a month. And yeah, thank you all so much for watching and I'll speak to you all again soon.